Before we get started, do me a favor and smash that like button. I'd appreciate it. All right,
Okay.
people. We have LT flying from someplace out west, and we're going to talk about a couple of things. So here's LT flying.
Hello, Teddy.
Hey.
And, I'm out in the OC, as they say here, Orange County, California. Enjoying the beautiful weather and for a day or two here, and then headed back to the east here tomorrow. So, but it is a beautiful day. I understand why people love to move to California for the weather. There's other reasons not to be here. But,
Yeah, like the politics.
But the weather's nice. Anyway, but I thought we should discuss. I see a topic evolving around theta quite often, and that is a bit of confusion about people think that the Theta Labs team is getting involved in all these different projects, and that's keeping them from growing their core business. And so I thought, well, we should talk a little bit about the core business of Theta, but then there's this other team out there that's building another project that is not Theta, but they have a Theta name. So try to dispel a little bit of the confusion and help people understand what this project is called Theta Board. And so thought we'd just have a discussion about that and basically really just review a video that Wes Levitt of Theta Labs was actually interviewing the creator of Theta Board, who is Marin Mamori. And Marin Mamori is created this Theta Board and has created a team to do these things that they're doing at Theta Board. But the confusion is understandable, and that you have all these names of these different projects that all involve Theta, and they all have this Theta name. So Theta Board in this case, Theta Cash in the case of G-Pool developing Theta Cash or T-Bill, and then of course there's Theta Drop, which is a part of the Theta Labs team. Anyway.
By the way,
so this Theta Board, yeah, go ahead.
For those that aren't familiar with Theta Board, if you watch my morning updates every day when I'm going through the numbers, that is taken from the thetaboard.io website.
Right. Exactly. And so Marin Mamori, he does talk about how they started off. And that was actually his first thing. He said, we started off trying to be a dashboard, just a place where people could come and see what's going on with Theta and with the Theta blockchain. So see what the price of Theta is and the price of T-Fuel and the ratio between the two and so on. So that's the first thing they did, was they just started as a dashboard for Theta. And then they expanded that into being a wallet tracking. So, you can post or add your wallet address to that. So then it tracks your wallet. And so you can see your wallet, and then you can see what's going on with the rest of Theta. Then they've upgraded that again, and they added NFTs. So you could see what you have in your wallet, and you can see what you have NFT-wise that resides in your wallet. They've added the ability to see your MetaMask within Theta Dashboard. So they've been adding new features to their product of the Theta Board. And the newest thing that they added was the Theta naming service. So Wes and Marin talk about these things on this video. Video is not very widely viewed. There's only about 334 views on the video, and it's a channel out there on YouTube called Lonely Zeta. And Loney Zeta has 8 subscribers, so it's not a very big channel.
They didn't pick the
And so,
they didn't pick the right channel to get maximum views. That's for sure.
well, and they have some difficulties, technical difficulties, which we know happens. But it's hard to actually watch or listen to this particular video because there's a lot of problems with the audio on it and the video as well. But there's some good information that comes out of this, so I thought we should we'd talk about that a little bit.
I was just thinking. I'm wondering if that video is actually coming from someplace else, and this particular channel you mentioned just decided to put it up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I understand what you're saying. I looked down through here, and I think it was actually, this is where they intended for it to come through.
Huh.
So
That's amazing then.
we'll see. Yeah, I looked at the description, and the person that did it apologizes for the video, poor quality of video and sound.
Yeah, as you
And the
should.
sound is actually on Wes's end.
Yeah.
Has a problem with his mic and such. So
Right.
anyway, but they're trying to get some information out there, and I thought we would use your channel and try to disseminate it on out to your audience. So
There you go.
that's what we're trying to do here is to keep people informed about what's going on with Theta, the Theta blockchain itself, or the Theta Labs team, what they're doing. And one of the things they're doing is reaching out to other developers that are developing projects on the Theta blockchain and helping them and helping to get out the word about what they're doing. So that's what this is actually. It's Wes of the Theta Labs team reaching out to another developer that's developing on the Theta blockchain. In this case, it's Theta Board. And so they talk about the Theta Board, what they have going on, and where they're going. So we can see just in the last less than a year, them launching Theta Board, they've improved their app from just a dashboard to a wallet tracking to NFT tracking within the wallet, and then this Theta naming service. And this Theta naming service is actually something that they developed and put out last fall, as I recall. And you mentioned it on your channel when it happened. You brought it up as a news article that came up, and
So that's what
it's actually a pretty
TNS
big
stands
deal.
for.
And
The TNS.
go ahead, say again.
I said, so that's what the TNS stands for. I heard him mention it.
Oh, we got a thunderstorm.
Okay, we're live.
All right. So, yeah, the Theta Naming Service, or TNS, is, and you'd mentioned it whenever the news broke about it, and we talked about it before, how that is basically a service that's really going to help to make things better or easier for users of blockchains, and that's why they developed it in the first place. From what Marin said, it's they're just trying to simplify the blockchain domain names and to basically do for Theta what the DNS, I think it is,
Right.
for the domain name service that's out there for IP addresses
Right.
for the internet, so that it just makes it easy to send or receive payments, to create a better user experience overall. And so that just kind of shows you how early on we are in the whole blockchain and what's going on with that. They're developing it, and the Theta blockchain is one that I think has a long way to go. They're just getting started.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So one
That-
one of the things that they talked about in this video was what the future of the Theta naming service is, and so they go into that a bit, about being able to use it in use this Theta, your name that you pick, your domain name within the Theta naming service. So you're able to choose and purchase your name or the name that you want to use and set up a profile, and you'll be able to use this then within smart contracts to create a digital identity. You'll be able to configure that profile so that if you're using it in different settings, so like if you're playing a game, you might have one profile and a name that you use for being inside of a game and playing a game, or in a metaverse, or if you're in a business setting. And then you're also you'd be able to set or configure what information, your information, is shared out there. So it's basically like being able to opt in instead of having to opt out, is the way that they put it. So it gives the individual more control of their information instead of having to read down through this, when you're on a website or in somebody else's service, that you have to accept their terms and conditions. Those big long pages of small letters that nobody ever reads all that. You just click the I accept. Well, you don't really know what you just accepted, and you could be just giving away a lot of information, or they're using your information a lot of different ways. This is going to put control of your information back into the hands of the individual, and so you can use this Theta naming service, set up the information that you want to release, and be able to release just that information for different sites that you go to. So that's protecting your identity and your information is becoming more and more important, and we're starting to see that as we go on with this internet life and lifestyle. So you could have different multiple domains set up for different uses, is what they're talking about doing, and this is going to make it easy for doing that.
Yeah. Who can remember one of those 32 character cryptic wallet addresses?
Right.
It's like,
Exactly.
when you're going to send to an
and
address.
you can share just your Theta, your name that you choose. So
Yeah.
just simplifies things. So that's one of the things that the Theta board's working on. I'm sorry,
You still there?
Daddy?
We're
Okay.
live.
Live again.
Yeah. So, where were we? Talking about the Theta naming service.
Yeah, the Theta name service and Theta board and what Theta board's doing. And Wes was asking Marin, what do you see for the future? What do you see Theta board working on for the future, and what the use cases are for this, and what type of user are they trying to reach? And so they pointed out that where Theta Labs developed Theta Drop, and the user that Theta Drop is trying to reach, they're trying to reach that person that maybe is not crypto savvy, that wants to use the US dollar to come in and buy an NFT. and this NFT is probably more like a work of art or a JPEG type of image. Where Theta Board is trying to be more community driven and open for creators. So a person that's a creator that wants to create their own NFT would have a user interface that they can work with and make it easy for them to use this interface and create their own NFT or their own video game, or be able to use an NFT as a utility, such as a reward for something within a game, or access for playing a video game, or many other use cases of an NFT. Maybe even using it for something like a ticket. That is, it would be a unique identifier for an event.
Yeah, matter of fact,
So,
didn't you say that the ThetaCon is going to be selling an NFT, which I guess will get
Right.
you into the ThetaCon event itself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it's tickets, TCKS, but tickets is the application that's going to be selling those NFTs or creating those NFTs for purchase to get you into the event. So
Right. And
of the
tickets
ThetaCon. So yes,
and tickets
this,
is an
this-
application that was developed on the Theta network.
yes,
But-
and I believe they were actually one of the
One of the hackathon winners.
one of the participants in the hackathon. That's right, one of the hackathon winners. So that's the other thing that Theta's doing. The Theta Labs team, I should say, we should be more specific because we do get confused about who's doing what. But the Theta Labs team is trying to create and promote an environment of inclusion to get other other entities or people developing and using the Theta blockchain. And so Theta Labs developed Theta TV, or originally it was called Sliver. They did that just basically as an example of what you can do on the Theta blockchain, not to develop Theta TV and try to develop the applications that are going to be run on the Theta blockchain, but to show developers what you can do with the Theta blockchain. So
Yeah, proof of concept, I think they call that.
there you go, proof of concept. It's kind of the same thing they did with this Theta Drop, where they're with the NFTs, trying proof of concept. You can develop an NFT platform, and so Open Theta came along, another different entity came along and developed Open Theta and put that out there where it's a place you can buy or sell NFTs across the Theta blockchain. So that's really what Theta Labs is trying to do, is to build the infrastructure to allow other creators to come along and create products and or utilities to use the Theta blockchain.
Yeah, they're
So,
basically focusing on creating tools
Yeah.
that will act as force multipliers, because the Theta team themselves, they can't develop all of this. If everything was left to them to have to develop, it would be very, very slow. So they're developing the tools and putting them out there so that other teams can leverage the Theta blockchain and develop apps like Theta Swap, like Volt Swap, etc.
Right. Exactly. They're trying to create, like you just said, tools that other teams can use which the hackathons and developing these hackathons is to do just that, to incentivize teams to put together, build those things that can be used on the Theta blockchain and utilize the Theta blockchain. So,
yeah, think about this, okay? Right now, NFTs are not easy for people to create, or I'd have created one myself.
No.
But, you know, if somebody comes along and develops, and Theta Board was talking about this, I think, somebody comes along and develops a tool that will make it really easy for anybody to create an NFT, then that's going to foster, you know, the creation of more NFTs for things other than just pretty pictures, and
Right.
you know, it's going to make the whole concept of NFTs just explode, because anybody will be able to do it. Right now, it's, you know, it's limited pretty much to the people that are real tech savvy to do.
Right. Exactly. So that's what in particular Theta Board is trying to do, is to create the user interface as a part of that, so that somebody does not have to be tech savvy. They just have a concept or an idea of what they want to do or things they want to create, that they could use Theta Board's user interface to make it easier for them to do those things they want to do.
Right.
Create the things they want to create a better experience for users. So
Right.
that creates value, and value creates activity. So brings people in, wants people to be a part of it.
Yeah, think about this. The you know, most people right now think an NFT is just a pretty picture, right? But
Right.
you know, the G-Pool team is showing people that no, an NFT can be a useful utility, like the NFT multipliers. An NFT can be the title to a vehicle. It could be your driver's license. You get pulled over and the cop says, "Let me see your license, registration, and NFT." You know?
Right. Actually, you'll probably be able to pull up your NFT.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's your profile.
You'll have a QR
and
code
look
on the
back.
back of your car, and he'll just scan it as he's driving up.
Right.
You know?
And but basically, isn't that what a license plate is?
Pretty
Think
much.
about it. A license plate is a unique identifier for a registered to an individual and or vehicle, right?
Yep.
So that information about that vehicle and about the owner of the vehicle could be obtained easily by the officer. So
Yeah. By the way, while we're on that, let me tell you something real quick. I don't know if you were aware of this, but police officers, you know, more and more, I know here in the Panama City area, they have a scanner in their car that as they're driving around in traffic, it's scanning every single license plate it sees, so that, you know, they can know, oh, oops, that one's you know, on the bad boy list or whatever.
expired.
Yeah, well, that exactly happened back when I was working. So this is, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. We got pulled over because the guy that I was riding with, that I worked with, he had registered, you know, renewed the registration on the vehicle, and he even had the sticker on the vehicle. But for whatever reason, the police officer scanner told him that it was expired, and so they pulled him over. You know, and
Right.
it's like, you know, the fact that they're doing that now, and that was 5 years ago. Imagine how much it's more advanced now than it was 5 years ago.
Right. Oh, and I know that my local police department has a couple of cars, or maybe more now, that were uniquely equipped with the capability of scanning plates as it drives along. So for that purpose, I once got pulled over. I'd borrowed a car. I'd flown into actually it was Shreveport, Louisiana. They gave us a car to use to go get a bite to eat, and I got stopped on the way to the restaurant, and the officer came up and said, do you know you have truck plates on the back of your car? I said, well, I'm borrowing this car, so I don't know. And it was in Louisiana, I guess they have a method of having particular types of plates for a pickup truck as opposed to a car. And so this officer had a scanner that said, hey, those plates are for a truck, not for that car. And he pulled us over. So, that's what a license plate is. It's a particular non-fungible token. That is, you can't move that plate from one vehicle to another. So it's
Well, not legally anyway.
not transportable. Right. Well, or there is a legal process to do that. I mean, in the state where I live, if I sell a vehicle, I take the plate off of that vehicle, and I can then transfer it to another vehicle. So it's possible, depending on where you live. And so anyway, but that's what an NFT is. It's a non-fungible token, and that it's something that's unique to a particular item. And that's what, back to ThetaBoard, that's what ThetaBoard is trying to do, is make it easier for users of non-fungible tokens to be able to apply an application to their particular product. So you could definitely see in the future governments or municipalities or states start using NFTs for particular tracking services to track certain things. So
Yeah, I think 5 years from now that you're going to see NFTs all over the place for utilitarian uses. I mean,
Right.
it
Well,
only
that's one
makes
of the
sense
things
that
that they
that
mentioned.
technology is
Right.
pressed into service.
Right. That's one of the things that they mentioned in the video, is that at some point people will be using the NFTs and they won't know they're using an NFT. They won't even know it's an NFT. They just know that this is what they need to do that.
Right.
Whatever this and that is. So, so it's building the next level of what they refer to as the Thetaverse. It's just everything Theta, the universe of Theta, that is. So, so that's what the Theta Labs team, Wes Levitt's doing, is reaching out to the builders of projects on the Theta blockchain, Theta platform. And in this case, he had reached out to the Theta board developer, and they talked a bit about what they were doing with ThetaBoard and where they're going with it. So I find that to be a positive step as an investor in the Theta network through buying their coin, the Theta tokens, and being invested in T-Fuel, and then in T-Bill, which is a platform for creating a pool so people can easily transfer between tokens, between T-Bill and T-Fuel. And then as other tokens come along, or other projects come along that need to swap between one currency and another, it's done through these pools. So
Yeah.
I thought this is a positive thing for Theta in particular.
Yeah, and T-bill is it's just in its infancy right now. I mean, it's going to be the currency for the G-World metaverse, for example, and it could easily
Right.
be used as a currency for other things too.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
sure
I mean,
it will be.
that's, which, we all have this thought that it all needs to happen, today. But it takes time. It takes time to put these things together, to get it disseminated, to get people educated, which is what you're trying to do with your channel, is help people understand what's going on.
Right. I think that
and
people
how
will
things
not
work.
recognize
And so-
things in 3 to 5 years. They'll just be, mind blown when they, 5 years from now they look back on how things were in 2022 and how much different they are in 2027.
Right. Well, we all do that now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
on
just think about the internet
everyday
now
things.
versus the way it was in 1995.
Was there internet in '95?
Yeah, back when
Well,
Al
for a
Gore
few people.
invented it.
Right. Exactly.
You ever wonder how
but-
that whole thing came to be? Al Gore supposedly, quote, invented the internet.
No,
Yeah, he was one of the Congress critters on a committee that authorized funding for the development of the internet, the World Wide Web.
well,
And that's where he came, the claim to fame. Well, I invented the internet. No, not really, but it's funny that he would lay claim to that.
well, it does take money to get things produced. So that is a fact.
Oh yeah. Well,
And,
what a lot of people don't
that's-
realize is
but
the
that's
internet's actually been around a long time, but the World Wide Web is just an advancement of the internet. But I mean, the internet itself, government and educational institutions were communicating over the early internet before the World Wide Web came along.
Right, back whenever you had to run command lines and put in an actual IP address to get somebody to reach somebody. So,
Exactly. For the computer at Berkeley to communicate with a computer at Harvard, for example, they actually had to manually dial up a phone number and then set that phone into a cradle that was a modem back then to get
Right.
the two computers to be talking.
Right.
But interesting stuff if you look back at the history of the internet, which I have done because I've been working with it for so long.
Right, in which the things we're doing now will seem antiquated not too long from now.
Right. But they're
but-
way advanced
so-
compared to the way things were 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
You know?
And so that's where we are now with the blockchain. And the Theta blockchain is one that has a lot of promise. And, as we've talked about, we can see the different things that are being developed. We can see how they are progressing. And we can see how there's actual progress that is taking place because of people's hard work. And part of that hard work is because they expect a monetary gain out of it, but that's what work is, right?
Well, what people need to understand is the Theta network is way, way more than just shuffling videos around.
Right.
And a lot of people don't
Right.
seem to realize
that's
that.
Whenever you stop to explain that to somebody, though, I have friends. I say, they'll ask me, well, so what are you getting into now? I say, well, I'm into Theta. And I say, well, what's that? And so how do you answer that question?
Yeah.
Whenever you stop and think about it, how do you answer that question? And so that's, how, and it's got to be an elevator pitch, because if it gets too long or too complicated, they zone out.
Oh yeah,
Too
you're
much
gonna
information.
lose them.
And so, right. So the easiest way to say is it's peer-to-peer video transfer. And they go, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's huge. Just that part of it's huge. the peer-to-peer video transfer. So
Oh yeah, well, I
anyway.
mean, it's perfect for any kind of repeating data. Whether it be
Right.
Microsoft just came out with their latest game, and so there's 25,000 people that are all going to want to download that game at the same time, and that's just the internet backbone has a difficult time, being able to handle that, and that's where the Edge node comes in because it's perfect
Right.
for repeating data.
Right. Disseminating that within a short range, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, exactly. I think once big tech catches on to that and picks up, Theta as the Theta users, that is the edge nodes. Once they catch on to that this system's already in place, all they need to do is start using it, and it's going to cut down on what it costs them. That's a game changer.
Oh yeah. Well, I did a video.
That's where you start getting adoption.
Right. I did a video that if anybody in the audience has not seen the video, it's called "Why We Need the Theta Network," and if they just search on that, and they need to watch that if they haven't seen it, because it based on some of the comments, people have said it's the best explanation they have ever seen of what the Theta Network is all about. So go watch
Right.
that, people.
There you go. So anyway, that's just a little overview about Theta Board, what they're doing, where they plan on going, and then I thought it was great that Wes from Theta Labs is pulling that out and getting that information out there, and then of course we're going to try to get it on out to folks, so get a wider dissemination of that. The more that know and understand what's going on, the quicker adoption is going to happen. And so
Yeah.
there you go.
And one more thing that was in that video that you picked up on
Oh,
is about
yeah.
the wrapped theta.
Yes, that was one of the things at the end of the video. A question by a viewer was sent in that said, "Is it true that we're going to have a wrapped theta?" And Wes said, "Yes, we are working on wrapped theta, and it should be out soon." I don't know what soon means, but soon. But what that means is you'd be able to, the theta that you have right now, staked to like a Guardian node, you would be able to have a wrapped theta, so you can leave your theta staked to that Guardian node, and then a representation of that theta could be used in, say, a DeFi project. So you wanted to maybe use the value of that theta as collateral to take out a loan. You could do that. Or you wanted to use that to purchase a T-fuel to then put into, the liquidity pool. You'd be able to do that. There's a lot of things you could do with this wrapped theta. So you would have still your theta working in the Guardian node, creating T-fuel for you, and you own that theta. So therefore you own the value of that theta, right?
Right. Dual
But you have a wrapped
use of your
that
theta.
That's it. That's it. So that's I'm sure a lot of people will be excited to see that come out, because that's going to give you other things you can do. It helps to multiply, if you will, what you can do with your theta. So
Yeah, as a matter of fact, along those same lines, DeGard had talked about right now people are unstaking their T-fuel from edge nodes and moving it over into the LP. And the proposal has been made that they will have he refers to it as a bonded T-fuel that will be, it would basically allow you to take that bonded T-fuel and put it into the LP and leave your T-fuel staked to the edge node. And that's going through the approval process. They proposed it
Right.
to the Theta team, and the last time you and I talked to DeGard, he mentioned that the Theta team has come back and asked him to do a full write-up on the concept that he's proposing. So they're interested, and they're working on the ability for that to happen. When it'll happen, I don't know. Could be 3 months, 6 months down the road. We don't know, but that is something that they're dealing with.
Right. He did mention then as well about that. There's something particularly different about bonding as opposed to wrapping. I don't understand those differences myself at the moment.
Me either.
But a bonded T-fuel would also suggest that the T-fuel that you have in the LP could stay in the LP, and you could use that bonded T-fuel to use in another, again, maybe another LP or a DeFi project, or use as collateral, again, to be able to do different things. So these are assets that we have, T-fuel, T-bill, Theta, that are been put to use, but you'd really like to be able to use that as a collateral to do something else. Same as, I have a motorhome. I can use that motorhome as collateral to secure a loan to do some improvements or to buy a vehicle, whatever. And so that's the same kind of concept we're talking about here, that the Theta and the T-fuel that you have, the T-drop, they're all valuable tokens. They have value to them. Can we use them as collateral while they maintain what they're doing in edge nodes or through staking? While they maintain being staked, that is, they're not going anywhere. They're staying right there, staked, but we're able to use the value of that to do something else. So
Right.
that's all exciting right there. So.
Oh yeah. Well, we're at 42 minutes at this point. So, is there anything else we want to cover before we wrap this up?
No, I was just, I knew that this information about the Theta board coming out there, helping people understand the difference between Theta board is not Theta Labs, even though they both have Theta in the name. So
Right.
there are different projects and different people working on different areas of the same ecosystem, if you will. So try to help clear some of that up and help people understand that there is actual progress going on, work is happening, things are being done to further the Theta ecosystem. And I was excited to see that and just wanted to share it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to have this discussion, and I'll get this edited up and get it out there hopefully within the next 24 hours. So
Great.
thank you very much, LT.
You betcha. You betcha. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Hang on just a second. Let me pause this and then. Well, that's a wrap for this presentation. So cue the music. If you enjoyed the video, then hit that thumbs up for me, and I'll see you in the next video.